570
I hope you had the time of your life.
WNAX.
And good afternoon. Welcome back to your afternoon 5-State Farm Report. Daniel Drotzman, your host here for 570 WNAX. Thanks for tuning in here today and listening to your program here. So I guess kicking off your program here today, we're excited to welcome on Seth Mitchell. He is the Executive Director of the Nebraska Pork Producers Association. So he is joining us here today. And Seth, thanks for joining us. So how are you doing here today?
Yeah, I'm doing well today. Thanks for having me on, Danielle. It's always a pleasure to talk.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we're excited to hear just a little bit about what's going on down there in Nebraska with the pork producers and just some upcoming events you got going on here for the summer. So I know since we last talked, which was probably a month ago or so, there's a lot of stuff going on with the association. So anything new with the Nebraska pork producers since we talked, or how's the summer been going so far?
Oh, summer's been going really well. We always start off June with the World Pork Expo over in Des Moines, Iowa. So Nebraska Pork was well represented with our team and a number of producers that made the trip over there. Always an exciting week to get to reconnect with folks from all over the country and showcase innovation and technology taking place all over the place.
Absolutely. Yeah, the World Pork Expo is always a really great event, and they do a great job at putting that on. But I guess kind of speaking of expos, the Nebraska Pork Conference, that's coming up here in about a month. So are you guys busy getting ready for that?
Yeah, as we look forward here to the end of July, we're really excited about what we have in store with the Nebraska Pork Conference taking place on July 30th and 31st at the Embassy Suites here in downtown Lincoln. So this event is reimagined, if you will, from what it has been in the past. To those of you that may have been familiar with the Nebraska Pork Expo, as it was previously named, took place in York, Nebraska for the last 5 years or so. We're moving that event to Lincoln, and we're kind of restructuring it. So at the direction of our board of directors, we decided to actually eliminate or do away with the trade show this year. So no more trade show, and we're pivoting into more of a thought leadership structured seminar space with different opportunities for networking and social engagement and interaction between our allied members and producers. So a lot of really neat things in store. I've got some speakers lined up for that we hope folks will find interesting and enjoy, and again, some social components worked in there as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. And can you kind of give us maybe just an outline of the events, or maybe just some highlights of maybe some special speakers or guests that you got attending?
Yeah, sure, would love to. Yeah, kind of walk you guys through the agenda for that meeting. So again, kicking off on Thursday afternoon, July 30th, we'll start with our annual meeting. So that's our business meeting where we will elect officers and the board members for the organization. We will elect Pork Act delegates that will represent the Nebraska Pork Producers Association at the National Pork Industry Forum next spring. And we'll talk through some of the different successes and programs and projects that we've been doing here at the Nebraska Pork Producers Association since we had our last annual meeting last summer. That'll be from 2:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon on Thursday. From there, we'll move into a social hour ahead of our annual banquet and awards reception, where we'll celebrate the accomplishments of many really incredible people that have made significant contributions to the Nebraska pork industry. We'll recognize 5 awards this year, culminating with our Hall of Fame award. That's our most prestigious award that we recognize on an annual basis. Following that dinner and awards presentation, we'll round out the evening with a live auction, and excited to do that as well. It's kind of a fun component we're bringing back this year. As we move into Friday, we'll kick the day off with some main stage sessions. We'll hear from Dr. David Newman, who's the CEO of the National Pork Board, and Tyler Bettine, who's the Assistant Vice President of Resource Development there for the National Pork Producers Council. They'll provide national industry updates from their respective organizations. And then we'll have a series of panels after that, including an economic update, a conversation about the research and technology and innovation, and then rounding out the morning with a conversation about different policy efforts and maybe political pressures being placed on the industry today. And from there, we'll move into lunch. I'll provide an update on the state of the Nebraska pork industry, and then we'll round out the seminar with a swine health panel and talk about the National Swine Health Strategy that the National Pork Board is launching and the potential pathway to PRRS elimination. And so that will conclude our main stage speaking presentations. And then something we're particularly excited about this year is as we roll into the mid to late afternoon from 2 to 5 p.m. on Friday, we're going to have a bacon, bourbon, and brews event. And we have some really delicious pork dishes lined up that we'll pair with some bourbons, and folks are invited to attend that, kind of peruse around the room, sample the pairings, and then have some time to interact on more of a social level with the folks that are attending the conference. So pretty jam-packed couple of days there, but excited for what we have put together, and look forward to hosting all of our friends in Lincoln.
Absolutely. Yeah, jammed packed, but it sounds like a very great agenda. You got a lot of things going on, a lot of educational opportunities there. So I guess with that, do you kind of have an idea of maybe what you would kind of hope attendees would take away from the conference now that you kind of have shifted away from a typical trade show type thing into more of like an educational type outline?
Yeah, I think my response to that would be twofold. One, we're really positioning this as a celebration of the Nebraska pork industry. So an opportunity for folks that may otherwise not have an opportunity to connect as regularly to gather together in the same room and have some high-level strategic conversations about the future. And my second point would kind of build off that. I would encourage producers to approach these panels with a futuristic mindset, thinking several years down the road and how some of these topics, particularly around political pressures and innovation and economics, may shape the future of pork production 5 to 10 years from now.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. And I guess with that being said, do we need to register for the conference?
Absolutely. So all the information I just shared, in addition to registration and hotel information, can be found on our website. That is www.nepork.org, and there is a banner across the top of that page that you can click on that will take you to the Nebraska Pork Conference page. You can find all of this information.
Perfect. All right. And I guess with that, kind of switching gears just a little bit, kind of a big topic in ag right now is just getting youth involved. So I guess through the association, do you guys have a lot of programs kind of revolving around youth?
Yeah, Danielle, I think that's something really exciting that we do that may be different from some of our other peers in agriculture. Our board of directors has very intentionally identified youth engagement and outreach as a priority for our organization, so much so that you'll see it reflected in our strategic plan as the fourth priority pillar there. So with that, we do several programs throughout the year. The highlight, though, would be our ambassador program, where we recruit 5 to 6 college students to participate in that year-long program, where we provide them with job shadow opportunities. We take them on an industry tour. We had them with us at World Pork Expo a few weeks ago. They'll be helping us at the Nebraska Pork Conference, and there's a number of other ways where we provide them with networking and volunteer opportunities throughout the year. So I would encourage young folks in college, that's for freshmen through seniors, or incoming freshmen through seniors, to start thinking about that. Applications typically open in the fall, and then we like to have those individuals selected within the first couple months of the calendar year. In addition, we're often getting into classrooms, even with students of younger ages, think third and fourth grade students, and educating them about where their food comes from and how pork production works, and then also heavily involved with 4-H and FFA and some of that programming. So lots of opportunities. We just got done talking about the Nebraska Pork Conference. We are planning to have a youth engagement function there on Friday morning, where we would encourage producers and their families to bring their families and to have their kids participate in some of those activities there on Friday morning.
Absolutely. A lot of opportunity there for the youth, and it's just good to get everybody involved for sure. So I guess with that, kind of coming up to the end of our time here. So I guess any other events kind of coming up this summer, or did I miss anything or anything to wrap up on here today?
Yeah, I also, if you provide me the opportunity, just throw a plug in for our golf outing it'll be happening not too long after our annual conference. That will be August 20th. Out in Hastings, Nebraska at the Southern Hills Golf Course. So I would welcome folks to find that information as well on our website and get registered.
Perfect. All right. Seth, as always, thank you for joining us here today. It was a pleasure to hear about what you guys got going on there down at the Nebraska Pork Producers Association. So have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect. All right. That's Seth Mitchell, Executive Director of the Nebraska Pork Producers Association, joining us here today on your afternoon 5-State Farm Report. With that, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll take a look at your markets here at the bottom of the hour.
The voice of the Midwest, 570.
I like mine with lettuce and